What's up guys, welcome back to Pat Outdoors. So we just got ourselves another electric dirt bike, and this one appears to be built on a similar platform as the Yasma IN10 Pro and the Voltinzu EM5 Pro, but this one has slightly higher specs. Let's take this thing out of the box, put it together, and take a closer look. So this is the Megawheels D2 Pro. Here's exactly how it comes right out of the box, partially assembled, and here's everything else that comes in the box. Got the 17-inch front wheel, tire size is 70, 117. Rear tire size is 90, 114. 5-amp charger with a max output of 67.2 volts. So this is a 60-volt bike. User manual, front fender, front number plate, toolkit, LED headlight, set of keys. This is the hardware for the rear shock. Display, bar pad, bar mounts, which are noticeably higher than the regular IN10, right foot peg, and miscellaneous hardware. Now I did get a separate package with a battery in it, so similar to the Yasma IN10 Pro where the manufacturer ships the battery separately. Not actually sure why they do that. Comment below if you know why. What's different on this one versus the other bikes is it comes with a larger battery. This is 30 amp hours. The IN10 Pro, I believe, comes with a 26 amp hour, and the EM5 Pro comes with a 27. So this one has a noticeable change in capacity, though I am wondering what kind of controller it comes with, because the heatsink looks completely different from all the other bikes. After taking a closer look at everything during the unboxing, I did notice a little bit of damage on the rear fender. Not sure if this is another FedEx problem, but folded the rear fender, increased it. I can probably fix this a little bit with a heat gun, but I'm gonna see if I have a spare fender that might fit this. The two wheel spacers are different sizes. The wider one goes on the side where the brake caliper is mounted, and then the shorter one goes on the opposite. It's also a good idea to add some lithium grease or bearing grease on the axle shaft before you install the wheel on. If you have trouble taking out this insert from the front brake pads, there's likely a plastic clip on the front brake lever. You just press the brake lever a little bit and pull this plastic clip out. Then that should relieve all the pressure up front. I don't know how I managed to do this every single time, but I probably should have put the throttle on before I mounted the handlebar. I'm just gonna loosen the bar clamps real quick, slide the bar over, get this on, and re-secure everything. I would also recommend mounting the headlight very last. I would just do it at the same time as the front number plate since they're mounted on the same bolt. They pretty much mount on top of each other, just like that. One last step is to install the battery, which I've had hooked up to the charger overnight, so it should be ready to go. I did reach out to Megawheels to get more information on the controller, and they gave me a user manual for a Voltel EM85, which I believe is the same controller for the ETM RTR. which I know for a fact is tunable, but I don't have the correct Bluetooth dongle that's compatible to work with this controller. So I'm gonna have to look more into that before we start messing with this bike. All right, we got 65.9 volts, relatively full charge on the new Megawheels D2 Pro. First thing I want to check out is how fast this thing actually goes and how accurate the speedometer is. All right, so mode 1 seems to be capped at 25 miles per hour on the GPS. It's showing 27.1 on the display. Let's see what mode 2 does. Mode 2 seems to be holding at 36 miles per hour GPS, 38.8 on the display. And then finally, mode 3. There were a couple of blind corners there, so let's do that again. Looks like top speed on mode 3 is 48 miles per hour. I think it's about 4 miles per hour off at the absolute max limit. Now looking closely at the motor that's mounted on this frame, it looks almost identical to the one on the Yasma IN10 Pro, but the controller is obviously different. This is using the EM85 Volto controller, which is the same thing as the one that's on the 72 volt ETM RTR Sport. So it's not tuned the same way as the Yasmas or the Valtinzu EM5s, which all use the far driver controller, which I'm a little bit more familiar with. But so far I'm liking this because the throttle is super modular from the factory. Like, this is very beginner friendly. I do want to look more into the Volto controller and how I can connect to it to make some changes to the tune, because I am interested in installing a higher voltage battery on this, and I don't really feel like buying a controller right off the bat. See this, ladies and gentlemen? This is why I ride an e-bike.
Oh, it'll start someday.
Man, the sun's coming down. Come on, Tim. Let's just get you a Suron or something.
I was in the store yesterday looking at street bikes.
I was in the store today. I took a motorcycle safety course yesterday and today. I finally got my license.
So you got your license?
Yeah, I'm like, screw it. Because I have a couple motorcycles that are street legal now. I guess it's finally time to just at least get that out of the way.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Look at that. All that gas dripping out of the carb. Now when you put this in the back of your car's gonna smell like gas. Why don't you just ride this thing? Tim's riding my brand new Thunder Wasp XR16. That bike's actually pretty impressive from the factory. It's almost like a Suron Light BX that's been upgraded and makes 16,000 watts of power. But obviously completely different price point from this bike. I just want him to show me the trails real quick so I can get a better idea of what the route is. So, for this really rough stuff, stock suspension's not bad. Oh, dude. It's definitely got more than enough power to climb whatever, which is not what I said about the Yasma IN10 Pro. And I think it's got something to do with the slightly higher amp controller.
Between this and the Yasma IN10 that I rode, like in mode 2, I can feel like the difference in power.
Like this has a lot more?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, this is the Pro model that's got the higher voltage. It's supposed to be 6,000 watts. You rode the RTR before. You've ridden a couple of my other bikes. How does this feel compared to the RTR?
This one feels a little bit different because it's higher slightly, but I think this position is a little bit more comfortable, honestly.
Yeah, I think the Pro model, it has the higher rise handlebars, slightly longer suspension, 17-inch front wheel, 14-inch rear. It just sits noticeably bigger than the 48-volt bikes like the Tudio, the Anyland Rev Pro, Voltinzo EM5, and the Yasma IN10. For anybody that's over 5'6" and looking for a little bit more power than the smaller bikes, I usually recommend something with at least 5,000 watts of power and the bigger wheel set. Especially if you like dirt riding, the bigger wheel set really helps with the rougher terrain. Did you crash it? No. Okay. Hey, you know what I like about this over the RTR though? Parts availability. I know you got the mod pack on yours. I really want that, but it's out of stock. I can't order one for mine. This one, I already have a new battery from Amorge. I have the 72 volt, 30 amp hour, 360 amp peak output. So I don't know if I'm gonna do a build on this, but that battery, just the idea that I have a battery that can fit in here, that can produce up to 25 kilowatts, and there's so many controller upgrades from Far Driver. You got the Social Motor FW22 direct bolt-on to this bike, so there's just so many options that are available in the market. So that's my favorite thing about this bike in comparison to the RTR, where you kind of have to stick with Electro and Coast products and count on them to be in stock when you're ready to buy it. All right, bringing the D2 Pro out somewhere where I'm a little bit more familiar, my own home track. I'm gonna test out how it does in our trails, try to get a time trial comparison. My buddy Nate came down from Maryland. He's been helping me out build a jump for the trails out here. All right, we're gonna see how the new Megawheels D2 Pro does at our home track as far as the lap time in comparison to the RTR, Yasma IN10 Pro, the Hay bike, the Tudio, the Coos, and all the other bikes that we've tested so far. I'm suspecting that the time's going to be pretty similar to a Yasma IN10 Pro, which is 1 minute and 48 seconds here. My time's going to be 1 or 2 seconds off since I have to reach for the timer to turn it on and off, but we'll put the actual time up on the end. So we'll see what it does. Oh shit. I probably should have done a warm-up lap, but whatever, we're here. I can already tell that this thing is faster than holy sh... Oh, dude. Oh, yeah. I think this is gonna give the Coos a good run. Take the same old path as last time. Messed up a few times there, but I think we're actually gonna get a better time than the Coos on this. Dude, 1 minute and 44. No warm-up lap. This is the fastest bike I have here so far.
I was about to say, because you were fucking flying too.
All right, can we give this another run? I'm actually genuinely curious to see if I can get faster on this. I made a couple mistakes there. Round 2, Megawheels D2 Pro, 2, 1, go. This bike feels so good. Oh my God, I almost went off that thing. The suspension on this feels really good on the rough stuff. And I think the bigger wheel set definitely has something to do with it. But it seems a lot easier to manage in comparison to the Coues. The Coues has a 16-19 wheel set, but it feels a little bit off as far as geometry. This one feels just like a little tiny pit bike that's just really amped up. Kind of similar feeling to the RTR. But I think it does better on the rough stuff just because of the bigger wheel set. Oh, no, same time, 1:44. That is 2 tries already and same exact time, minute and 44 seconds. So I'm gonna make that the official time for this bike, but I'm pretty surprised that with less power and a smaller wheel set, this is a little bit faster in the trails versus the Coues. All right, let's try this out on a hill climb. I've got a really rough climb on the backside of our lot, which is really fun on the big bikes like my KTM, but on these smaller bikes it's a little bit tougher, at least on the 14-12 bikes, but I'm suspecting that this one's gonna do pretty well on it. Descend for a little bit. All right, hill climb test. No problem. I'm pretty impressed with this bike. And for $2,000, I think you get a good amount of bike. Nate and I have also been working on a little tiny ramp here. See how this does. Oh shit! Oh dude! Still in the beginning stages, but I'm pretty freaking happy with where it is. I'm gonna keep making it taller and adding onto the landing more and more as time goes on. I kind of just want to feel it out. Since you asked how this bike is, why don't you go take it out for a ride yourself? And I'll go ride your RTR. Oh, dude. I'm so glad we built that. Oh shit, this thing's pretty torqued. Oh, this thing's not stock. I forgot he's got a mod battery and stuff in here. Does this have the torque motor or the fast motor?
Revolver.
Oh, this shit's got the
Yeah.
Damn. Dude. Dude, this thing is freaking epic. ETM RTR with a revolver motor, mod pack, and the True Moto controller. Yeah, let's hear the feedback.
Hard. No, I like it. I could see having one of these in my collection. I would have to do something with the brakes personally.
Well, dude, you got the freaking fanciest brakes. How much are these brakes, by the way?
I think they're like $500 or $600.
Jesus Christ.
So
I don't care. I gotta get one.
you can't compare those brakes. That's not even a fair comparison. So I could be a bit biased in that department. But other than the brakes, it's solid.
Pretty solid feedback, though. Like, I trust you because you have had so many of these similar type of bikes.
Because I came in the corner too hot.
Yeah. Well, I had the opposite problem where I'm so used to having a little bit more pressure on the finger, but like, dude, just one fingering and then your rear just kind of washes because you got the 241s on there.
Yeah. Think about getting something like this adding to the collection. I just need to make some space.
Why does everybody who's in this hobby have to have a collection? Like, why can't you just be satisfied with one bike? It's a genuine question. I'm not trying to talk shit. Obviously, I have my fair share.
Like when I'm riding off-road, I like my Ultra Beat. When I want to putt around out front, I grab my Razor. And if I want to go cruise the neighborhood and go in the woods or hop on a bike trail, I'll take the RTR. So they all have like their purpose.
Okay, so I have the same exact excuse. So this bike is $2,000.
I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check it out. You can also get yourself $100 off using discount code PATOutdoors.
And what type of control are they using?
This is a Voltal EM85.
The throttle feels pretty good.
Oh, yep.